Virtue signaling, as defined by UrbanDictionary.com, is to take a conspicuous but essentially useless action, ostensibly to support a good cause, but actually to show off how much more moral you are than everybody else. I'm certain we're all familiar with the phenomenon, or the vaguely left-wing oblivion NPC taking as much advantage of the dialogue tree as they can in order to maximize social status and reward, or a Marxist telling you how they actually read all 288 pages of the Communist Manifesto, which, as an aside, I just looked up the book on Goodreads.com, and of course it has a Penguin Classics Edition release. To be fair, and to be reductionist by insinuating communism is the direct inverse of National Socialism, Mein Kampf also has a Penguin Books release, but with a scary red cover and over-the-top and incorrect description. This Penguin edition of Mein Kampf is actually a rather decent translation. That's a whole controversy in itself. But the notes by D.C. Watt make up almost half of the publication, which I should know because it's the edition of the book I have. And I've read all of it. Get it? I'm being hypocritical for comedic purposes. I am signaling my virtue to you. This is a phenomena that is not exclusive to the left, as in this video, I'll go over my short experience with right-wing virtue signaling. Okay, now before Vice gets these schlubby, unlovable, and misshapen folks to dox and harass me for having opinions online, I'm just gonna say that while I do have Mein Kampf, I also have Mel Brooks' Hitler rap on vinyl. In fact, I like Mel Brooks. I like his work quite a bit. The indiscriminate way he tears down sacred cows, very cool. At the end of the day, the truth stands, and if you think the truth is on your side, why would you be swayed by some specious representations of your views? Anyway, virtue signaling, right. So, in my time meeting with people on all sides of the right side of the political spectrum, and it is a big spectrum, there's somewhat of a consistent pattern I've run up against. To a normal person Caucasian, or NPC, I will mention, hey, Blade Runner 2049 was great, or, man, did you watch Breaking Bad? Great series. Or, Baby Driver is the most inadvertently pro-white film of the last decade. That point may merit a video in its own right, but the NPC replies, respectively, the first one was so boring. I'll check out this one, though. Has the guy from the Notebook in it? Or, yeah, dude, remember when Walt blew up Tuco's office? Haha. Or, Baby Driver, what the fuck are you talking about? While, for a lot of people in this movement, their responses would be, respectively, I don't watch Jewish-owned media. Or, I don't watch Jewish-owned media. Or, Baby Driver, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's this mentality, this shut-in or hermit-like, neat mentality that is preventing a lot of our guys from interacting with normal society. It is necessary for us to engage, in some degree, with pop culture. While the left has decidedly won the culture war and everything you see is incredibly leftist, and there is quite a bit of pause being poured out of your screens. Hell, there's even a podcast dedicated to it. I think it's important to listen, read, and watch to what the coastal elites are dishing out there. I'm not suggesting watching HBO crap like Westworld or Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones in particular, and the book series, sucks. I'm laughing watching George R.R. Martin write himself into a corner, only to realize that his deconstructionist view of fantasy is going to have to end with the reinforcement of classic fantasy tropes by the end. Danny marries John, sorry. I'm not suggesting listening to the Billboard Top 100 because that all sucks, and that's more forced on people. That's more of a prescription than a description of what people desire. Do you think people would listen to Post Malone if it wasn't shoved in their ears, or Kendrick Lamar or whatever? But I am suggesting to watch, read, or listen to just enough entertainment so you can carry a normal conversation with a normal person. There's a lot of things in current media that you can use as bridges to our talking points, and this is something I haven't seen brought up too many other places. I'll give you a couple examples. Disney's, Marvel's, Stan Lee's, George Soros's Black Panther. That's a good example. The world the eponymous hero rules over is an ethno-nationalist state. I'm sure you've even seen this meme back in February. And considering how successful it was, there's a high chance the NPC you were sat next to in class, or during lunch, or during a normie social function has seen it. Getting into a discussion about the film, you can tell them about how you admire T'Challa, the King of Wakanda, Black Panther, his desire to keep Wakanda safe for his people. And Even mention that you agree when T'Challa's top advisor says in the film, "We can't accept refugees. They bring their problems with them." No, really. He says that in the movie. From there, you can shift a conversation to politics if you want, under the safety of wanting what Wakanda wants. The NPC thinks you're one of them, and now you have an inroads to, really make them think about our views, about our talking points, about what we want them to think about. Another example, the film Get Out, whose ultimate message is, whether it means to be or not, for black people to get out of white areas and vice versa. It's a really quick jump from talking about how groundbreaking this semi-competent Twilight Zone spec script was into a discussion about positive segregation and fences making good neighbors. After all, it can't just be you thinking this. Get Out was nominated for Best Picture this year, something to, really make them think. Yes, the media is overwhelmingly represented by leftists, Marxists, globalists, cosmopolitans, coastal elites, and Jews, but that does not mean there's nothing useful out there. What's the one thing these people always do? It's always overplaying their hand, letting the mask slip, and revealing their true intentions. The benefit of clown world pop culture is that there's no end of films and TV shows talking about how important it is for this group or that group to be given representation or for their stories to be told. All I'm suggesting is to watch those stories, observe that representation, and use it as a safety net to help your NPC friend climb on over to our side. Instead of scoffing at the idea of popular culture, writing it off, and deciding to isolate yourself from NPCs, only to become this weird, alienated, and further atomized person, simply plant one foot. Not the whole body, don't do snow angels in it, just one foot in the pause. And use the leverage to kick the Overton window further right. Because at the end of the day, the truth stands. And if you think the truth is on your side, why would you be swayed by some specious representations of your views?